Hey, thanks for stopping by. I think we're reading Ovid wrong when it comes to Echo and Narcissus. And I think if we get clear on what we're missing, it can impact our lives in pretty positive ways. You know the story. Narcissus looks into a pond and sees his own reflection, and he falls in love with that image. And he's unable to turn away from it, and he wastes away gazing at himself. That's where we get the word narcissist. Echo, meanwhile, falls in love with Narcissus. The problem is that she has crossed Hera, queen of the gods, and she's been cursed so that she can't begin a whole sentence. She can only repeat the last words spoken to her. And so when she finally meets Narcissus, she gets rejected. She eventually fades away in her pain and in her grief, and eventually only her voice remains. And so that, of course, is where we get our concept of an echo. Now, most people read this myth and they say Narcissus is punished for self love, and Echo, she's just unfortunate. She wants to love somebody and can't. But I'd say there's another way to look at what these two figures get wrong. And it has to do with their inability to open their eyes to the vast beauty and wonder in the world around them. The truth is that Narcissus appreciates his own attractiveness, and that wouldn't have been a problem. I don't think his self love or his egocentrism or whatever you want to call it, I don't think that's the real problem. He is this beautiful personage. And the problem is he can't see beauty anywhere else. He gets so fixated on that image of himself in the pond. And the same goes for Echo. Just like Narcissus, she loses herself because that's all she can do is focus on him and his beauty. So, for those of us reading the myth, Narcissus and Echo offer a challenge to see the world as these two characters are unable to. We are urged by Ovid, by this story, to open our eyes to a perspective that embraces multiple, maybe infinite examples of the beauty and meaning that pervade the world around us. In another video on my channel, I discuss Elizabeth Barrett Browning's lines where she says that every bush is burning. I discuss it more in detail there, but the basic idea is she works from the old idea about Moses, who saw God in a burning bush. And Browning has it's this passage that's so beautiful, she says at one point, earth is crammed with heaven. That's the verb she used. Earth is crammed with heaven, and every bush is afire with God, something like that. And so she says, all we have to do is just look around, because you don't have to go to Mount Sinai. You don't have to be Moses. Just open your eyes, because every bush is burning. So back to Narcissus and Echo, they can't see the burning bushes around them. Instead of noticing the many examples of beauty in the world, they share this singular obsession of focusing only on Narcissus. Now, I'm criticizing them here, but I identify to a significant degree as well. Just this morning, I went for a run. I run most mornings through this it's kind of like a nature preserve. I don't know how to explain it, but it's in Pasadena, and I run there most mornings, and I'm often aware of how much I'm missing out on the beauty that surrounds me. It's just this gorgeous area. The running path runs through. It's next to what they call the Arroyo Seco, and the thing is, though, there are rocks and holes on these paths, and they could easily trip me up. So I'm typically looking down just to make sure I don't trip. But when I do look up, I see flora everywhere, wildflowers and shoots and trees, and there's this stream that runs by the path part of the way, and fauna even. There are hawks and groundhogs and wild parrots and even coyotes. And I can miss all of this if I train my vision only downwards. And of course, I got to watch where I'm going. That keeps me safe. But when I don't add in the vision of everything else, then I limit myself and fail to acknowledge and appreciate all that surrounds me. So that's what this myth shows me, among other things. It shows me the danger in failing to open my eyes to the burning bushes all around me. And obviously, you can't live like that 24/7. I've tried to, work on being aware and awake and alive and all of that. And I try, but you're not going to do that 24/7. I'm not. But on the other hand, how hard is it just to work on opening my eyes just a bit more often? Just deciding to look. All this reminds me of a parable told by Father Anthony de Mello, the Indian Jesuit priest, who's one of my favorites. So I'll close with this. It's about a master who's with his disciples, and they ask him, is there any such thing as 1 minute wisdom? There certainly is, said the master. But surely 1 minute is too brief, they ask him. And he responds, it's 59 seconds too long. And so they went away later. They come back to him, and the master asks, how much time does it take to catch sight of the moon? And they get what he's saying, but they say, then why all these years of spiritual endeavor? And he says, opening one's eyes may take a lifetime. Seeing is done in a flash. Ovid's narrative seems to call us to condemn Narcissus, to pity Echo. But more than that, it warns us and it challenges us to see what they're unable or unwilling to see, that everything around us begs to be acknowledged, to be truly seen. Viewing the infinite number of burning bushes leads us to see more, to appreciate more, to love more, to be changed by more. And all we got to do is open our eyes. Thanks, y'all.